Well, hi there. Guys, this is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and I thought I would let you guys know I'm alive and well and also show you a new project I've going. It's a private, off-the-table project, but I wanted to keep you abreast, and I'll give updates as I go. Big project for me. 1979 National League replay. Yeah, y'all have heard me talk. If it's more than 60 games, I don't do it. But I'm going to show you my approach, and hopefully this will turn out a little bit differently than other past big ones that I've tried to bite off. So let's go to the Talk About screen. We've got a 1979 strat-o-matic basic baseball replay, a National League with the original 20-card team sets. Run about 30 games at a time. I printed off a week. I played the week. It took me about 2.5 weeks or so, and then this past Wednesday night I was like, well, I've only got 5 games left. I blasted through them. I finished that first segment, that first week. It's going to take a long time to do, as any major replay like this would. But it's 79. It's interesting. I'm doing it in little bites, and I don't have to do it the whole way through. But I'm keeping stats and everything, so I thought I would share this, guys, with you. How I'm doing it. Schedule. I'm going baseballsimresearch.com. I'm using Ron Bo's As Played 1979 schedule, and I'm using the lineups on the sheets. I pencil in simple, suitable substitutions for non-carded players in the lineups on the sheets. Which takes us to the rosters. There's only 20 players per team. So carded players are going to stay with the teams. Bill Madlock is not starting with the Cubs. He's starting with the Pirates. He's going to play third base. Garner is going to play second base. It's just the way the team is. Unless Rennie Stennett is in the lineup, then Stennett will play second, Garner stay third, stuff like that. For the Cubs not having Madlock, I'm going off Steve Dillard and Mick Kelleher playing second base. But carded players are going to stay with the teams. It's less to keep track of. No trades. So whoever is carded, that's where they're going to stay the whole season from start to finish. Injuries. Now, I know the injuries are taken into the lineups that I'm using, the score sheets, using Baseball Sim Research. So injuries, no matter how long the D20 says on the chart, on the basic screen, the chart that I have, injuries will last no longer than the current series against a current opponent, and there will be no more than 2 injuries per team at one time. Only 20 players. So we're going to be limiting injuries as they are rolled, but I'm going to do injuries. Regardless, overusage is going to happen. There's no way about it. It's 20 players replacing all of the plate appearances and fielding and pitching of 25. So there is going to be overusage. I'm going to try to limit the lower used players to lower totals in the everyday guys or the 3 out of 4 guys to really use them more. So proportionally it's going to be close to the same, but there is going to be overusage. I'm not worried about it. I'm probably going to get to usage for most of the guys in the league mid-August. So everything over there is going to be above and beyond what they would have done. I'm not worried about it. Batters, I'm going to try to use guys with more bats more often. I said that. Pitchers, I want starters to go 5 innings. Unless someone really gets shellacked. I had a game last night or the night before. Phil Niekro gave up 8 runs in the first 2 innings. Gave up 4 homers. Gaylord Perry got shellacked once. I was able to nurse him to the 5th, but I went ahead and took him out. And that also depends on the bullpens. How many pitchers each team has in reserve. If someone goes 1 inning and they're a relief 2 or a relief 3, they're free to go for the next game. If they're a relief 1, I'll invert the card upside down so that way I know if I use them again, 2 innings and 2 nights, they're going to have to sit out a game. If anyone goes 2 or 3 innings or so, I take the card and I flip it so the advanced side is facing forward, so that way I know they got to take a game off. But let me try to be generous with relief pitcher usage. As other things occur to me, but without any further ado, let's have a stat show, because we all love our stats. This is my game log that I've got set up on Google Sheets. You can't see San Francisco and St. Louis. They're off the side there, but you see how I've got it set up. Not so much dates. Team they played, then of course, if it's just the name of the team, then it was a home game. If it's got the @ in front of it, then it was an away game, whether it was a win or a loss. You look here, and I've got standings as we go. I adjust those. Generally enter stats for anywhere to 3 to 6 games at a time. Just depends on what I've played. But so far, after 1 week, Philadelphia Phillies are on top of the National League East, 3-1. Mets are 2-1. Montreal and Pittsburgh 2-2. Chicago 1-2. St. Louis 1-3. Out in the West, the Reds are on top. They had a game where Avon calling. They had a game, the last game they played, and I think it was against the Padres. It was probably Gaylord Perry. And he gave, well, we can just look here. Cincinnati, Atlanta Braves. Not sure who it was. Well, we can find out real quick, because let's go to pitching. Atlanta's on top. It would have been Buddy Solomon, I think. He's only got 1 start. Probably Phil Niekro. He's got 2. Yeah, Phil Niekro got Ken Griffey out, top of the 1st inning. Then Dave Concepcion hits a solo shot. Then Joe Morgan hits a solo shot. Then George Foster hits a solo shot. And his next time up, Foster hit a 3-run dinger. So we've got some fireworks going on. It's a very interesting start to this replay. But yeah, that is those. Let's check out batting. Of course, you've got all of your Braves there. Benedict, Bonnell, Britt Solara. These are all the carded players for the team. Positions they have played thus far. Your games column there, even pitching a game. If they didn't have an at-bat, that's how many games they appeared in. So I'm keeping track of that as well. At-bats, runs, hits, doubles, triples, homers, ribbies. Total bases, I've got a formula for that where it takes hits, doubles, triples, and homers and adds them together. Also walks. You've got Ks, walks, hit by pitch. There haven't been any of those yet. Not too many in basic, though. Sack hits, sack flies, stolen base, caught stealing, errors, passed balls, and then you've got batting average, on base, slugging, and OPS. And you've got that for the Braves. You've got that for the Cubs. You've got that for the Reds. So you can see who all's on there. Give a chance for everybody to pause it and look and see their guys. Try to color coordinate it. Astros is tough to do, but I can read it. Dodgers. And we'll go through and we'll sort some stats so you can see some leaders and stuff like that. Expos. New York Mets. Meet the Mets. Only played 3 games so far. You got Philadelphia Phillies. You have the Pittsburgh Pirates. They've only won 2 of their first 4, but they kind of started slow that year. San Diego Padres, San Francisco Giants, and St. Louis Cardinals. Now, we go back up to the top. Let's go ahead and show you some leaders after week 1. Some really cool numbers going on here. So let us... I got to bring that back down. Okay, hold on a sec. Doink. Data sort Z to A. And here are your home run leaders after the first week. George Foster has 4. Mike Ivey of San Francisco has 3. 2 each for Jeff Burrows of the Braves, Concepcion and Dreesen. Larry Parrish, third base. For the Expos, Willie Stargell, he's got 2. Jack Clark, George Hendrick, and Ted Simmons starting really well. Let's look at stolen bases. Why not? Data, sort Z to A. And you've got Davy Lopes with 4 thefts, 2 each for Rodney Scott, Omar Marino, Bill North, and Tony Scott, and then a few with 1. Let's look at batting average. We need to do that. Didn't anticipate this, but it's not hurting the flow too much. Now, anybody that does not have at-bats or hits, it's got divisible by 0 error. So that we need to go down here until we start seeing these numbers. Now, we're going to go down to Gary Matthews. He's the first one with a good amount of at-bats. So you can see Gary Matthews is batting .524, as is Dave Winfield. Then we go a little further down and we start to see Glenn Hubbard for the Braves, .471. Larry Parrish, .462. Barry Foote and Tony Perez, .455. .444 Pete Rose. Steve Garvey, .440. So I've got these sorting out pretty good. So that is the batters, and then we'll put it back the way I had it. Do that, and do that. Back to the teams. Alrighty. And let's check out the pitching. Got it set up just the same. Let's show you some guys. We have, let's see, let's go with wins. We've got a couple of 2-win pitchers, I think, so far. Dink. Yeah, Tom Seaver and J.R. Richard. And then numerous with 1. Let's check out saves. Shouldn't be too awful many of those yet. Tekulve's got 2. He also has a loss out of his 3 games. Fred Norman, a whole bunch of guys with 1 there. Paul Moskow, Gene Garber, Craig Skoke, Charlie Huff, Elias Sosa, Dwight Bernard, Kevin Coble, Raleigh Eastwick, Ron Reed, Raleigh Fingers, and Mark Littell. We got complete games. We can show you. We have Tom Seaver with 2, and J.R. Richard, Rick Russell, Jerry Royce, and Rick Sutcliffe with 1 each. Yes. So I got a lot of guys going in the 7th, a few guys going into the 8th, and as you can see, some complete games. So I'm not just leaving them in there. I mean, I'm trying to be realistic with situational replacements and stuff like that. Strikeout leaders. There's 1 or 2 surprises in here. J.R. Richard. Craig with 17, leading the National League. Craig Swan with 12. Phil Niekro with 11, even though he's got that 13.11 ERA over here. Knuckleball works 1 game, doesn't work the next. Tom Seaver, 18 innings, 2 wins, 2 complete games, a shutout, 10 strikeouts, 7 walks, and you got more. Bruce Keeson had a really good game. He started 1 game down here where I'm mousing around, went only 6 innings, got the win. He only gave up 1 hit, and he struck out 5. And the Pirates won that game 1-0, kind of typical of a Bruce Keeson outing. He was the ace of that staff. He just never had the run support. It's really cool revisiting these guys. It is. Let's look at ERA. They got a bunch of zeros. They got Tom Seaver. He's down on the bottom. Bruce Keeson, of course. Starters we're doing here. Jerry Royce. And everyone there is zeros. A bunch of relievers with zeros. Of course, small sample, only 1 week. But yeah, that's what I've got going on there. Let's do the team by team, so that way you guys can pause if you want to see how your team is doing. Let's see, we've got the Atlanta Braves and the Chicago Cubs.
Yeah.
And then, let's see, Cincinnati and Houston, if you want to pause and look at either of those. Dodgers and Expos. And move that out of the way. I have the Mets and the Phillies. You have the Pirates and the Padres. You have the Giants and the Cardinals. So that's what I've been doing lately, guys. I'm still alive and well. I'm still kicking, but I wanted you to see, yeah, I'm still playing baseball. Can't help it. I love the sport. I love the game. Strat-o-matic, yeah. It's the one that I know the best. It's the one I'm most comfortable with. So yeah, I'm rolling strat-o-matic on this one, definitely. So I wanted to give you an update, and I finished the next week in another 2 or 3 weeks or so. I'll post another stat update, you know, and we'll just keep tabs on the National League in 1979 as we go. So guys, that's it. This is Chris, Tabletop Sports Delaware, and gratefully my silent son in there playing video games and wanting to be screaming his head off because he's been being killed by a rad rat or something, I know. Say hi to everybody.
Hi.
Guys, thanks for watching. Have a wonderful weekend. Happy Mother's Day, everybody, and keep on rolling.